Welcome to Four Finger Discount, where this week we're here to review a pretty shitty episode of The Simpsons. It is Pluribus Wiggum. I am Dando.
And I am Guy. Yes, we're facing some interesting times in American politics at the moment, aren't we?
We are indeed, yes.
I don't know if we've addressed the fact that someone took a pot shot at former president and maybe even future president Donald J. Trump. Think what you think about that. We've also, we haven't addressed the fact that Diamond Joe Biden has decided to call it a day. Well, no, he's still president, but he won't be running for president again. And Kamala Harris is going to be the front runner for the Democrats. This is all very, very interesting stuff. It's all very, it's turbulent times in American politics. And you know what it is? It's interesting, and that's the complete opposite of Pluribus Wiggum. I was about to say Pluribus Unum, which is what this episode takes its title from.
I did find it interesting that all this shit's going down in American politics. The one week we have to do the American politics episode of The Simpsons.
It's the unified theory of Four Finger Discount
just
coming through again.
Works.
We just get lucky, I guess.
Danny, you've done it again.
We get lucky in some ways in that, it gives us stuff to talk about, but it makes us very, very unlucky in that we had to watch this episode.
Yeah, before we get into the episode,
You've got other things to talk
anecdotes.
about. We got real life to talk about. Much more interesting, much more fun.
So last week we mentioned on the show that I purchased, that it was the dilemma of the goalpost for Elliot's birthday.
Correct.
I ordered for those of you previously on Four Finger Discount, I ordered Elliot his nanny and pops from England got him some AFL, Aussie Rules football goalposts, mini goalposts to set up in the backyard or wherever he wants to set them up at the Oval, so he can practice his kicking for goals. Mm-hmm. We got them home. They were snapped. The little pins that hold them together were snapped. Took them back to Rebel Sport. Oh, great. They said, yep, no worries, just grab another one. Grabbed another one, snapped. I'm fuming. Elliot's double fuming. He just wants to play footy. Yeah. So then we go back again and they say, we've got no more. We can send a new one to your house. And if that one's no good, then you can get a refund. During last week's show, or just prior to last week's show recording, it arrived. And I teased saying I was going to let you know what happened. Mm-hmm. They worked.
No snaps.
No snaps. I reckon now, I mentioned last week how I read the reviews as I was leaving the second time, and it said, ordered a set, pins were snapped. Took it back, second set, pins were snapped. And I thought, shit, I've just fallen for the same thing. I got this new box, and I realized that this box was sealed properly. Those last two weren't. I reckon I got that fucking person's snapped pins boxes.
Oh, okay. You think you got shoddy workmanship or someone sort of asleep at the wheel?
Just put it back on the return, just put it back on the shelf rather than put it back into damages or whatever.
Who would ever do this at a warehouse?
Oh, I have no idea.
No, Dan and I have no experience of anything like this.
But I just thought, okay, well, it's great. The goalpost, huge success. He loves it. He's going down there. But you know what the cool thing is?
Well, that Elliot is going to be the next Tom Hawkins. That is great.
100% is going to be that. Yeah. So...
By the way, Tom Hawkins, do your Googling, folks.
Tom Hawkins, local Geelong great, yes. Geelong Cats footballer, hasn't announced his retirement yet, but just released a memoir.
Has he?
So everyone's like, okay, so you've just released your own book.
Oh, it's called Tomahawk, isn't it?
It's called Tom Hawkins. I think it's just called Tom Hawkins. Maybe it is the story of Tom Hawkins. It was announced yesterday.
It'd want to be called Tomahawk, which is his nickname, by the way.
Maybe it is. And it was announced yesterday, and I'm thinking, why would you write a memoir or a book if your career wasn't finished yet? Because wouldn't you want to, if you're going to play one more game, wouldn't you want to include that in your memoir?
To quote CNC Music Factory, things that make you go,
Yeah. Anyway, so we went down to the local park here, set up the goalposts, and it took about, 5 minutes. And kids started noticing, what's that over there?
Goalposts?
Goalposts. These two brothers rocked over. Can I play? Sure thing. They joined in as well. Alex having a great time playing, right? All of a sudden...
You said two brothers rocked over, and you, of course, are wearing your stepbrother's jumper.
They became best friends. So what happened was these two boys, right? Then all of a sudden, these two girls and a boy were going to the park, and then noticed, wait a minute, there's goalposts there. Can we join in? Within about half an hour, I had my own local footy team going. The Danditos. We're going to be taking on any local footy league in Geelong. We had like 11 kids kicking for goal.
Look at Gordon Bombay over here.
We have a team of misfits, and we're going to take them all on.
The bad news cats. Yeah.
So I just thought it was pretty. I'm like, I've just created this little local league.
This is great. Football is the great unifier.
Yeah, sport is.
Yeah. Well, sport is, of course, yes. But Australian rules football, I like to think, is very, very unifying.
It felt like I was just creating my own like Sandlot kids, but in football form.
Indeed. One might even say, out of many, one.
Yes, and then the kids. So we were walking down the street.
That's wink, wink. Not to this episode, just in case you didn't get it.
We were walking down the street yesterday, taking for a bike ride, and the two boys saw Elliot. They go, "We were waiting for you yesterday. You didn't come back because we said." They said, "We'll come back tomorrow." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no worries." And we just forgot. We didn't go yesterday or the Monday it was, and like we all waited for you. You weren't there.
And when he said he was coming back, they said he didn't know. This is good. This is heartwarming stuff.
Yeah, it's cool though, isn't it? I just set up these goalposts and all of a sudden they just started appearing. Just like, what's that over there? Just jumping fences and going around corners.
It's like kids have got a little innate radar. Fun is happening somewhere, or activity is happening somewhere in the vicinity.
I was literally sitting there contemplating, can I coach these ragtag group of misfits?
Can I take on the kids from
the Bad News Bears
from Snooty Academy and give my little juniors
from Robot House? The Robot House with the ragtag. Who was the other one in that? I can't remember. Was it just Mars University? Because Robot House was the frat that was always fucking things up in Futurama. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I thought it was really cool.
That was indeed cool.
Yeah.
And well, first of all, I'm glad your goalposts are finally upstanding and operational. That's good news. And I'm very glad that Elliot is going to be the captain, clearly, of this.
He's the Charlie Conway of this team. Mighty Ducks reference. You said Gordon Bombay. I assumed you knew what Charlie Conway would be.
I'm aware of the Mighty Ducks, and I'm aware that Emilio Estevez's character is named Gordon Bombay. Beyond that, I don't really know much about the Mighty Ducks.
Right.
Pacey was in them?
Pacey? Who's Pacey?
Joshua Jackson.
Oh, yes. Well, is that his character from Dawson's Creek, is it?
That's correct.
Never watched Dawson's Creek, but yes, he is Charlie Conway. There we go.
I never watched the Mighty Ducks, but we're learning from each other.
He's named Charlie Conway in Mighty Ducks. He's named Pacey in Dawson's Creek. We learn things.
Yeah, we're exchanging ideas.
Yes. What, are you got an anecdote for us before we get into this shit show?
I got fuck all.
I've just realised I haven't written favourite moments or trivia or anything.
I've got trivia.
Actually, no, I do. I don't have favourite moments. I've got trivia. I just want to say, okay, Pluribus Wiggum, right? Or do you have an anecdote first or not?
I have no anecdotes.
Okay, so first of all, it was 3 minutes before anything of substance happened in this episode, right? So you had a 2-minute couch gag, an opening intro, and then a minute of Burns being distracted or trying to get Burns away from work so they can leave work early, Homer, Lenny, and Carl. So I've got 3 minutes and nothing's happened, right?
Not even leave work early, but they've got that thing where it's like, we can't leave until the boss leaves, which has never really come up before.
But I assumed they were leaving work early. That's why they had to wait for him to leave. But why would the boss leave? It didn't make sense.
None of it made sense.
Anyway, my big issue with this was that you wasted 3 minutes of our time, 3 minutes of TV time on absolutely nothing. A couch gag and a gag that made no sense and went nowhere, right? And added nothing to the episode. And then you couldn't even give us an ending. So you had 3 minutes of nothing, 19 minutes of a story, and then at the end, there was no ending. Why are they now deciding episodes don't need endings? There was a point in time where they went, well, let's just wrap this up quickly, and it was almost like a gag. We didn't even get that here. It was just, and that's the end. Wiggum's going for, he's really smart, he's going for president, here's his commercial, end of the episode. And I went, what happens next?
My final note about this episode. Okay, so what was the point?
Yeah,
what was the point of this episode?
Kids are not going to enjoy this episode at all.
I don't think adults are going to.
Adults, it's a very niche target audience.
It's incredibly niche.
Because if you don't understand American politics, and I think Americans just seem to think that we all understand American politics and we're all interested in it. Maybe when you got wackos like Trump, yes, maybe, but the ins and outs and all the different politicians, the majority of people outside of the States don't give a shit.
Yeah, when it becomes a sideshow.
Yeah.
Or when it becomes a circus, as it often does around election time, but when you're getting down to the nitty-gritty and the minutiae of electoral colleges and primaries and all that kind of stuff, I think, first of all, you're going to have a lot of Americans going, I'm not really quite grasping this, which is why a lot of Americans don't go to the polls. Then people outside of America are going to go, I can't make head or tail of this shit. What you had with this episode, to my mind at least, was a really toxic combination of incredibly dense and unbearably smug.
That was my key word from this episode, was The Simpsons has become smug. For a number of reasons. The politics aside, right? There was a gag in here where Homer gets out cigars called Jerk-Ass Homer, right?
Courtesy of our friend Al Jean, apparently, this gag.
I have issue with this because that says to me that you're listening, or you're at least acknowledging that you are aware of the gripes that your audience has with the direction of your show now, right? Back in 2008 or whatever, 2007, whenever this aired. The problem is acknowledging it and then doubling down on it. And we're basically saying to the audience, we know you don't like it, but fuck it, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, there's acknowledging it and then there's reveling in it, which is what they were doing here.
Like it or don't, we don't give a shit, we're going to be doing it. I thought, that's the only result you're going to get from doing that is not get laughs, is you're going to alienate your audience.
Yeah.
And you know what happens at this point in time with The Simpsons? They alienated their audience. It wasn't just because you started to alienate it by making Homer a jerk ass, but then by acknowledging, if I was watching this, I'd given up on The Simpsons by this point, watching it week to week to week. But if I was watching it week to week to week, and I saw that gag, if I watched this episode, this would be the episode, Pluribus Wiggum, where I would go, towels thrown in, I'm done, because you've basically said to me, you don't give a shit about what I think anymore, just enjoy what we're doing. And I don't enjoy it. How could you possibly enjoy the joke-ass Homer? You've proven, last week, Eternal Moonshine of the Simpson Mind, we can get lovely Homer. You still know how to do it. So why in God's name would you still do this kind of stuff and acknowledge to your audience, we know you have an issue with joke-ass Homer, but we're going to do it anyway, so sit down, shut up, and just enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone has a...
It's ridiculous.
I think people have a problem with jerk-ass Homer, absolutely. I don't think they have a problem with Homer being a jerk as long as it's something that he either learns from or is actually kind of funny.
Yeah. And
hopefully a combination of the two.
It doesn't get any repercussions for his actions here, right? And it made sense to me because the writer, Michael Price, right? Mm-hmm. So Price and his son came up with the episode's opening set piece. This is off Wikipedia, straight from Wikipedia.
Yes.
During a drive in California. They stopped at a Burger King. They had a long scoop on its trash can for customers to throw away trash from their car. His son commented, Homer would love that, he's so lazy. This led to the creation of the Fast Food Boulevard, with Price's son suggesting the name of Fast Food Boulevard. I remember seeing that in the episode going, you couldn't think of a creative name? You just went Fast Food Boulevard?
I think Price's son actually suggested Vesuvius Pizza. I think that's the thing that he suggested as opposed to Fast Food Boulevard. Or maybe he did both.
No, when in the episode when Homer destroys Fast Food Boulevard, a restaurant... Oh, okay, maybe you're right there. Pizza is shown exploding with pizza sauce coming out of its top like lava. The joke was pitched by Price's son, who had been learning about volcanoes in school.
And in all...
No. Creation, the Fast Food Boulevard, with Price's son suggesting the name. So he suggested the joke as well as the name of Fast Food Boulevard, both things. Okay. So this whole scene was written by a child, and it felt that way.
It kind of
in
did.
the nicest possible way for the child. I get it. He's a child, but...
I'll give him due respect for Vesuvius Pizza, which I thought was actually kind of funny. Yeah. And honestly, I would eat that. Fast Food Boulevard, however, that's very placeholder, isn't it?
It just felt like you didn't...
Okay, it's a boulevard with a lot of fast food. Let's come up with a funny name for it.
Let's not they get too angsty about the name of the Fast Food Boulevard. The thing is, though, Homer blows up Fast Food Boulevard, and then he's the one saying, we need to rebuild it. There's no repercussions. It makes no fucking sense. We need to rebuild it. He doesn't get any repercussions for his stupid actions. He then is the guy that says, we need to put Wiggum in charge.
First of all, is Homer aware that he's actually blown up Fast Food Boulevard? He doesn't know.
No.
So it's understandable that...
Yeah.
I would think, if he knew that he blew it up, then maybe him sort of doing a bit of a shifty cover-up. It's jerk-ass behavior, but it's also kind of funny. I like it when Homer is kind of devious. But... yeah, look, this episode was so disjointed in so many ways that it was just hard to get a handle on. I mean, you weren't flowing smoothly through it. One thing did not lead to another, or if it did, you could really see the joins. The seams were not seamless. They were very, very broad and in odd-coloured thread. It's like, you're patching together a bunch of ideas. You've got a Frankenstein's monster of an episode here. You know you want to cover politics. How do you get to that? Well, have your traditional... Homer fucking up.
It doesn't really... Also for me, I do not understand the ins and outs of American politics all that much, right? I know the basics. But Lisa even points out here, you have to be 35 to be a candidate. Why would you have one of your characters point out that this story actually doesn't make any sense? Like, if you're just going to pretend that, or throw the rules out the window and just pretend, look, in the Simpsons universe, this can happen, that's fine. But to have Lisa then go, this can't actually happen because he's not old enough. Mm-hmm. But then you see his campaign ad and it's like, but you've just told us it can't happen. And they're like, the Patriot Act. And I'm just, it just did my head in.
One thing I was thinking while watching this, however, is, okay, you want to do political satire and you want to do it about American politics and particularly about, the convoluted way it operates.
They've done it a lot better in the past.
They have done it a lot better in the past. But here's the thing. Okay, the show is called The Simpsons. It's about a town called Springfield. Springfield's got a lot of people in it. It's got some very smart people. It's got some very dumb people. Okay, the dumb people, in this case, are going to say, I don't understand politics. I don't understand. Yeah, what's the primary about? I mean, what, you can just nominate anyone, but then any party can someone sort of claim them? That's when you've got someone smart, say Lisa, come along and say, well, you know, the way American politics works or the way the primary works is this. And they explain it to a dumb character. Who was
us.
Also me, because, the dumb character is a surrogate for me who understands nothing about American politics. Here they just, I don't know, it felt like, you know what, we're gonna pitch this to the smartest person in the room for a change.
They wrote a show for themselves.
Well, they really did. It really felt like in the room they were one-upping each other with, oh, well, yeah, I've been watching a bit of CNN. Oh, well, I've been watching C-SPAN. Yeah, I think I've got a handle on how politics works. Oh, by the way, isn't the way the media handles politics, doesn't that become kind of a circus? Let's take the piss out of that a bit as well. Yeah, it really felt, to go back to the S word, it just felt unbearably smug.
And on the topic of smug, right, I bring up how I'm sick of the list gags already in season 19. There was a point in time where the Simpsons sign gags they were just a backdrop. They were, if you weren't paying attention, they were there for the smartest person in the room to go, did you see that joke? Like, you didn't. The freeze frame gags.
They were Easter eggs, essentially.
They were Easter eggs, exactly right. But now they have become look at how smart our signs are. And they are almost the joke. They aren't just signs they're going past anymore. It's when Homer was going down the boulevard, it's sign. It's almost like they got to a point where they're going, acknowledge us. Acknowledge our creativity.
They're lingering on it just a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Used to be you would see it for, look, I'm not setting a stopwatch or anything like that, but you'd see a newspaper headline or a street sign.
And there'd always be a subheading that was really funny.
Yeah.
Now they would focus on it.
On the screen for maybe 3 seconds or whatever. And if you've got enough time, oh, hey, that's a nice little addition to that.
They were
that's
hidden gags.
Hidden gags. And now they're very much in your face. And look, I don't like things in my face. I've told you this many times now. Stop putting things in my face.
Well, okay. Tell me your safe word next time. What would be your safe word?
Palomino.
Okay, I'll remember that for next time. But the joke ass Homer just really bothered me. I just thought, how disrespectful to your fans to acknowledge that we hear your issues, we don't care.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Unless, of course, this is a final farewell to jerk ass Homer, which I doubt it is.
I would say it's probably not, because they seem quite proud of the fact.
Yeah, they seem to be really just steering into it, don't they?
Yeah, it's an odd one. I mentioned earlier I didn't have any favourite moments. Did you have any favourite moments?
I have precisely 3.
Okay.
Okay, then. When they're in New Hampshire, Dan Rather and all the other media types leave because it's happening in Springfield where the Simpsons are. And there's the couple left behind the diner. Yeah. Well, now that you've said my name's Martha, I'm going to have to kill him. That's a reference to one of my favourite movies, Sergio Leone's fantastic western, Once Upon a Time in the West, which stars the great Hollywood star Henry Fonda, known for playing good guys and great upstanding characters. Sergio Leone made him a victim who shoots a kid because, one of his henchmen says, "What are we going to do with the kid, Frank?" Well, now that you said my name, people were like, "What?"
Well, that's kind of like, remember Breaking Bad when that happens?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, they did it.
Yeah. I'm not pro killing kids in real life, but when you do it on screen, kind of cool.
Well, I always say to Nicola, usually in most shows that we watch, whether it be a Law and Order or not the easygoing shows, but the more commercially friendly versions of crime shows, usually the kids are safe, or babies are safe, and animals are usually safe. But sometimes they go down and they injure a kid or whatever, and you're like, oh, fuck. And I feel real bad.
They're usually the episodes you remember. I mean, you're a Law and Order guy. I don't know if it was regular Law and Order or Law and Order SVU.
Or Criminal in...
Well, no, but I'm thinking about a particular episode where it was Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Has his son been killed by someone, by a little boy?
Yeah.
Who turned out to be like an irredeemable psychopath.
Yeah.
And Kyle MacLachlan in the end grabs like the bailiff's gun or something and shoots the kid in the courtroom.
Yeah. I think it's in the hallway, maybe. Yeah.
Or something like that.
And you're like, well, he deserved it. You didn't expect it, though.
Brat-headed cunt.
Yeah. So that was one of your favourite moments.
I like that very much.
Kids being injured usually make guys' favourite moments, yes.
Love it. I enjoyed Mo when asked about his political affiliation. I'm a registered something.
Yes, that was good. Yeah. I knew there would be those moments in here. I just haven't written them down.
And we're all a fan of when we enter Homer's brain, and it's either
You got it right this time.
It's a circus monkey or it's a lazy donkey or something like that. This time, his thought processes are clear, concise, correct. What? I'm not allowed to get one right?
I didn't mind Clinton on the phone to Hillary saying, "You're never going to let that go, are you?"
This concludes Guy's favourite moments.
Okay, then. So let's get into trivia, shall we?
Let's do that.
All right. My first question for you, as I scroll back up to the trivia, is it's the name of a place. I can't remember what the question would have been. I've written the answer. I can't remember the question.
Okay, well, let's do a Jeopardy then.
I remember Homer says, I think he was listing off places that are now gone. And it's Captain something. I'll give you the clue.
Yeah. Oh.
It's Captain Corndog Schnitzel Palace.
That's right.
I think he's talking about all the places that are now gone, and he's really sad about it. And he's like, "Oh, I promise I wouldn't cry."
Right.
Yeah. I asked my own question and answered it for myself.
Well, speaking of Homer and eating,
Yeah.
what is he expecting to eat when he's on the phone to Marge? He's like, "Get the so and so ready."
Oh, is it deep fried bacon?
It's deep fried pork chops.
Pork chops. Okay.
You were close, and you're in the same magical meat area.
I do like that the consistency there. That Homer's favorite meal for Marge is always her pork chops.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got
The basics.
Yeah.
It's meat and veg. So my next question for you is: how many restaurants were destroyed? It's a two-parter. And what were they rated?
There were 37 restaurants that were destroyed, and they ranged from awful to mediocre.
See, now that we're on camera, people can see that you're reading off your notes, so they know. This, I don't care. I don't care that you're doing that. But now it's like I used to edit it together, so it sounded like you were smart. But now that it's like, hey, he's got the answer written in front of him.
I was smart enough to write this
exactly
down.
Right. There you go. Yes.
Yeah. Well, my next question to you is actually related to that. What was the lifespan of Fast Food Boulevard?
It was 1977, was it? Is that when it started? It was the 70s, though, right?
It was
78.
No, you're going in the wrong direction.
Okay, what is it?
1972.
So that would have been 30.
Oh, well, you don't need the lifespan, which is the years that it was.
Oh, so it's 36 years in.
Okay, it was 1972 to 2008.
Yeah, 30. Is that 36 years?
Yeah. Sorry, I should have. I phrased my question inelegantly.
Yeah.
What year was it?
I keep giving you a lifespan.
Yeah, I know. Words mean things. You would think that I would know that.
I was going to try one more question for you. As I'm scrolling through my notes, okay, what hotel was it? So, Residence Inn by Hyatt Embassy Suites by Courtyard by Marriott dash a something hotel. That's where the Republicans were having their focus group.
Look, I probably had my head in my hands like this.
Okay.
At this stage, so
a Starwood hotel.
A Starwood.
I was just skimming through my notes though, and this was another thing. And it's not an issue because I know this is an American show, so they're making about American politics. But when they used to take on politics in the past on The Simpsons, they didn't double down and have so many references to politicians of that time. It was just about the politics in general, just the system in general. And they would replace politicians with Sideshow Bob going for mayor or things like that. It would still be doing the same thing and taking the piss out of the political system, but they weren't doubling down and having references to actual politicians. Because now you watch this in 2024, and all the references of the people shot over your head. Make absolutely no sense. No one knows who any of these people are anymore.
The only one I knew was Fred Thompson, and that's because, as they say, he was in Die Hard 2 and The Hunt for Red October.
I knew you would have. I was going to get down to that moment. But the thing is, all these people, no one knows who they are, A, outside of the States, mostly anyway, and B, in 2024, are they even still politicians? It's just, it makes the show feel
really,
so, it's such a dated, it's such a weird episode to make. It goes against everything The Simpsons has always done.
It really did, didn't it? I mean, yeah, it felt like a time capsule, but in the worst possible way. It's like opening a time capsule. It's like, oh, we didn't close this properly. Now everything's moldy and smelly and disgusting.
Even Jon Stewart's appearance was weird. Like, even he feels dated now, Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I mean, he's back, but yeah, Jon Stewart feels...
His appearance here was so bland.
It was. Jon Stewart feels like he was very relevant at a very particular time. I like the guy. I think he's very, very funny. I think he was able to...
In this time, The Daily Show was huge.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know how funny or insightful he is these days. I don't really pay much attention to the way he's covering politics or the way he's covering current affairs these days. But certainly in this time, it was like, oh, well, yeah, politics is a bit of a circus. We might need a bit of a ringmaster. And we got that in Stewart. But in this episode, yeah, it felt like an uneasy combination of political commentator and also comedian.
Well, for me, he seemed fearless, Jon Stewart, because I was only in my early teens, when he was sort of a thing. But you see him on TV, and he was like the guy that would have no fear to take on the politicians and say what he thought, right? In this episode here, it just came across as if he was timid and he was polite, and he should have been like really going at Krusty.
He should have, shouldn't he?
Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah.
Really tepid.
Are we doing any more trivia questions? Because I have one more for you.
Oh, go hit me. One more.
Okay.
Into it.
What is Dumont Evans's media outlet?
Slate.com.
He's from Slate.com.
That's a thing, right?
It is.
But Pluribus Wiggum. So let's skim through this episode, shall we? So the original air date of the episode was January 6th, 2008. So it was the first episode, 2008. Actually, another thing I need to point out, apparently this aired almost an entire year after Obama was nominated as the representative. So as you said, what was the point of this episode? Because you watch at the end of it and you kind of get to the point where you think, okay, they're trying to say vote for the right person or pick the right person. But we already knew who the representatives were at this point, so what are we doing here?
Yeah, or the American system is flawed and we're, just picking any old clown. When it was, kind of obvious from the initial picking of Obama, who was, not necessarily all that well known, but it was clear that this was a breath of fresh air for American politics in so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this sort of runs counter to that.
The thing about this, though, is I think it's a victim of The Simpsons. They take 9 months to make an episode. So maybe when they started pitching this idea and putting things together, Obama hadn't quite been nominated yet or put his hand up or whatever. And by the time they were already started making it, they can't, once they've started, they can't really go, well, we can't make it now.
Well, maybe they should have just done a Batwoman and shelved it and then put it on a repeat.
Yeah, this episode, man. So, production code KABF03, written by Michael Price. I mean, great writer. It's just, his name's on it, but you can tell this is just the writer's room.
This is a group effort in the worst way.
Yes. And directed by Frank Polsina, who was apparently nominated for a Writers Guild of America award for the directing of this episode. Not the content, just the directing side of things.
So, nominated for Best Direction by the Writers Guild. Okay.
By the Writers Guild of America, yeah.
Okay.
The chalkboard gag teacher did not pay too much for her condo.
Hated that. Don't know why that rubbed me the wrong way. It just felt so smarmy.
It seems like something Bart wouldn't say. Again, they're not writing Bart as a 10-year-old anymore. No. They're writing gags that makes them... It's the writers writing jokes for themselves. Yeah. They're not... There was a point in time... I know I'm just getting on a bit of a rant here, but Harry Shearer once said to us... I don't know if this is even on the record when he said this to us. Pretty sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it anyway. There came a point where he realised they weren't writing jokes for characters anymore. They were just writing jokes and assigning it to characters.
Yes.
That's exactly what this was. They aren't writing jokes that... What would Bart be right? What would he be punished for? What would Bart say to Mrs. K? What would he say? It's just, we're writing jokes now, throw it on the chalk gag. Which character can say this? Let's just give it to Cletus. Let's just give it to Principal Skinner. Doesn't matter who's saying it. It's just, here's a joke, assign it to... Just put somebody, give it to somebody.
Yeah.
And that's when he realised, what's the point?
No,
because he said, I literally said to them, he said, Ned Flanders wouldn't say this. And they didn't care. And that's when he went, well, what am I bothering for anymore?
Yeah, you've got no continuity of character and it affects the structural integrity of the show.
Yeah. And it would affect, I'm not saying it would affect the performance because they're professionals, right? But it'd have to annoy you when you're going, I know this character probably better than you guys writing it. I am this character. I know he wouldn't say this. So it wouldn't feel natural saying these lines.
Yeah, the writers have the creators of the show have created the characters. Yeah. The writers have helped develop them over time. But if you're
they gave the personality.
Yeah, but if you're living with this character week after week, episode after episode, your creative juice has flowed into that as well. So of course, Harry Shearer and the other cast members are right to have their say about the character sounds this way, the character acts this way, the character reacts this way. Yeah, of course.
But that's again with the Joecast Homer. You're saying people watch the show week to week. The people who were complaining about Joecast Homer weren't just going online and complaining. They were saying that because they wanted to be better. Your audience who once loved the show are saying, you've taken the show in a direction that we don't really like. Yeah. Could we try and maybe find a middle ground here? And the show went, nah, fuck you. Yeah, it bothered me. So the episode kicks off with Homer.
Let's not forget about the couch gag, because the couch gag
went forever, didn't it?
Unusual and unrelated. Well,
a parody of the medieval...
The Bayeux
Tapestry, yeah.
Yeah, which is about a 70-metre tapestry depicting the Norman conquests, where a band of European soldiers, mainly sort of French and Belgian and all that kind of shit.
All that kind of shit.
Yeah. It's ancient history.
When you said French and Belgian, I was like, I thought waffles. Breakfast treats.
Yeah, they conquered England in 1066. Yeah.
And then just wasted 90 seconds. But like I said,
Yeah.
There was 2 minutes when the couch gag ended. And then there was a minute of Homer, Lenny, and Carl at the power plant saying, we've got to wait for Burns to leave before we can leave. Oh, that guy's distracting him. Then he calls him and does I guess a phone booth parody, was it almost?
Sort of, yeah. Or when did Taken come out? Taken feels like 2000.
2008.
Yeah.
I would
It
say.
sort of feels that way in some way. It also feels like phone booth. You're right.
How did your brain work that out? Because my brain, I associate what I was doing, a moment of my life in that time when I saw that movie. And I was like, I married now, kids, but I was like, I saw that movie with a particular girl. And I know what year I was seeing that particular girl. That's how I know what year that movie that came. So I'm saying 2008. What are you saying?
I'm going to say 2000. I'm going to say 2008 as well.
It was 2008. Yeah.
We're both right.
How did you work that out?
I don't remember how I knew it.
Yeah.
Because, up to a certain stage, and it's probably like the early 2000s, it's like, oh, okay, well, no, I was working here at that stage. Or, I was living at this place at this particular stage, or drove this car to go to that preview or something along those lines. 2008, I don't know. That's when things start to get fuzzy. Well, not even that's when things start to get fuzzy, but, the 2000s is kind of like, it's all starting to blur into one. It could have happened in 2012. It could have happened in 2019. It could have happened in 2005.
I can tell you week to week to week in the 90s. Once I get about 2005, I'm just like, pew.
Yep. It's like, it all becomes one thing. Was I going to say something else?
I bet the guy's calling taking parody. Yeah.
I must admit, I did get a laugh, though, when they're saying, oh, he's going to tell him that story about hang gliding.
Yeah, and then
you see it's like, okay, that's pretty good. That's a good visual gag. But after that, it just stretches on way too long. And honestly, the stuff with Homer doing the hostage thing, first of all, it's just...
I'm going to kill your dog or something, or I'm going to kill your kids?
It's dumb and it's cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says, if you do... I think he says, and if you do this, I'll let your dog live or something. And he's like, do the rocket dance on the way out. And it was all for nothing.
It was.
It was literally just filler. And as I said, filler in an episode. 3 minutes now have gone by where Burns is left and the guys are leaving. In an episode that they couldn't think of an ending. So they just didn't have an ending.
True.
So what the hell is going on? So Burns is left. He calls Homer has called Marge on the way home. She says it's the first of the month, which means it's the day that you promised to start your diet. I actually had this in my notes that super relatable. How many times have you gone, start my diet, I better eat all the shit I want to eat now, and then like 3 weeks later you're like, yep, that was good.
Yep. Start of the week, start of the month,
Start of the
birthday,
year.
start of the year, various other anniversaries and milestones.
The last week of the month's always where it gets you. You're like, I'll start it the first of next month.
Yeah, it's like, tell you what, I'm going to build up a quote unquote spank bank of memories, but all food related in terms of like, oh, that was the last KFC I ever had. Oh, it's so tasty. Oh, remember I had that quarter pounder? Oh, it was so good. But
by the way, thanks to all the patrons who let me know about the $10 for 10 tenders yesterday.
Indeed.
Except motherfuckers are now kept it to one per customer.
Excuse me?
Used to be you just have it unlimited. And it was like, no, one per customer now. I went, what? What?
So you can only go once and get your 10 tenders for $10.
It's only on the app, and when you're logged in, you can only claim it once now.
Oh.
Yeah. I was not impressed.
Disappointing from the Colonel.
They've shrunk in size, and they've shrunk in content as well.
Nobody likes a loophole.
No.
Nobody likes a loophole. But, I think we can very much relate to, I'll start my diet on Monday. I'll start at the start of the month. And yes, you build up your memories of like...
I'm going to have a Big Mac, and I'm going to have some tenders from KFC, and a Whopper from Hungry Jack's, a bit of everything.
And you know what? They're invariably disappointing.
Yeah, KFC never disappoints me. Besides the size of the tenders now. Like,
I was about to say, you just were talking about how disappointed you were.
Taste-wise, it's never disappointing. McDonald's, always disappointing. Big Macs are usually generally safe for me, Big Macs. Chips are always shit for me, McDonald's. Cheeseburgers, cheeseburgers were a good after drink. You're out in town, have a couple of cheeseburgers on the way home or whatever. For me, if I'm going to get Macca's, it's only a Big Mac. It's the only thing I'll eat. Hungry Jack's, I feel like Hungry Jack's is the most consistent for me, both in quality of food and service. We get a Hungry Jack's, even if there's a line, it's just like in and out. KFC last night, I went to get the kids first and went in line to KFC to take it to my parents' place because they wanted KFC as well. Nicola was waiting there, right? 37 minutes in line at KFC. 37 minutes.
Do you mean in like the drive-thru?
In the drive-through queue. 37 fucking minutes.
That's nuts. Were people like lined up on the highway?
It was lined, the back of KFC in North Geelong? So it was a back street. So it was the entire drive-through was full, and I was one car out of the complex. So it was like maybe it seemed like maybe 7 cars ish. I'm like, we can get through. Let's get the kids in this. We'll put some
Were you
songs
getting
on.
were you getting frustrated? Were you sort of projecting onto the person in the front, saying, "You don't know what you want, do you? You're looking at the menu, going, maybe I'll have this. Oh, you know what would be nice would be tenders. Oh, what kind of sauce though?
I had it.
Know what you want before you go.
That shits me more than anything. Everyone knows what they want to get when they go to a fast food place. No one should get there and go, what do I want today? You know what you want? The same shit you always order. Just fucking order it. For goodness sakes. But I thought, you know what? I'm not going to get stressed here because Ellie's like, it's going to be a long time. I'm like, nah, it's all good, buddy. Put some songs on. What do you think we relied on?
I don't know, kids. Baby Shark.
They wanted Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, cool. That's
and
good.
It got to the loud part, as the kids call it, and we were in the drive-thru going, dun, 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 Wayne's World style. I was like, I'm a good dad. And then Elliot requested Paradise City by Guns N' Roses, and I was like, I'm fucking raising these kids right.
Good lord.
But they loved, Elliot loves We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions. Because he always remembers, he goes, I remember you when you sang this in town when the Cats won the grand final. I love that he's already got a memory of me drunk singing that song, like, you know, a good memory of the Cats winning the grand final. But anyway, so we 37 minutes, put songs on, kids danced, had a good time. I didn't get stressed out until it got to the point where we were 1 car from the final window.
Yes.
And this guy who took forever to order his food was then sitting there forever. And I saw them give a bag, and 5 seconds goes by, and I was like, oh, he's looking through the bag. And then he hands the bag back, and I was like,
Well,
you.
Okay, I can understand why you'd be mad at this person, but at the same time, you know, to quote Joe Pesci in the Lethal Weapon movies, they can fuck you at the drive-thru.
Yeah.
You got to make sure. You have to make sure.
Well, this is how, because the only thing that KFC always fucks me with now at the drive-thru is the extra salt on the chips, right? We always want extra salt. They always go, yeah, there's extra salt. Last time I specifically said, is there extra salt? And he goes, yeah. And there wasn't, right? They lied to you. The kids lie to you. This is how you get around that mistake. If you're having issues with KFC giving you extra salt, is you order chips with no salt. And then and then they have to make them fresh because there's no salt. And then you get to the window and go, I fucked up. My wife said she wanted extra salt, not no salt. Sorry, mate.
Okay.
Then they have to put extra salt on it, and you watch them do it. That's how you guarantee you extra, because they're fresh chips, so they taste good, and they guarantee to have extra salt. That's your loophole. Order them with no salt, cooked fresh, and then say, whoops, my bad. I wanted extra salt.
I feel like I'm Luke Skywalker training with Yoda here.
That's what I did last night.
Yeah, you're just gaming the system.
Well, little shitheads always lie to me.
Beating the Colonel at his own game.
But when he handed that bag back, Ali actually yelled at one point, just get on with it.
Good Lord, your car.
It was good times.
Partymobile.
Yeah, it was a partymobile indeed. Where were we up to, though? The start of the episode?
Have we even started the episode? Yeah, that's right. We got the opening bit.
Oh, Homer's either a diet's beginning, yes. Oh, and then she makes the joke. I'm glad they explained that this was a joke, because she goes, NASA according, they said your weight, or your what is it, your body's
the
gravity's pulling
satellites
into out of orbit or something. And I was like, that can't. And I was like, no, that's a joke. He says, that's a joke from Bart. And I was like, thank God, because I'm like, if that's what you think is funny in season 19 of The Simpsons, we have lost the plot. Yeah. We have lost the plot.
Even still,
it comes from a true place.
Yeah. What? I know that Julie Kavner is a professional and a smart person and got the joke, but it almost seemed like she didn't.
Nah, that was the joke.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, just the whole delivery of all of it. It's like, I can't tell if Marge knows this is a joke or not. She explains at the end.
Yeah,
but
that was weird, wasn't it?
Just her line delivery was like off.
Yeah. But Homer decides to eat all the crap he can before the diet starts. We don't even get to the diet.
No, that's just thrown to the way. That's thrown into the back seat like a junk food wrapper.
Yeah, so the various places are General Chang's Taco Italiano, Dead Lobster. Now, it said on Wikipedia there was something about a panda. Did you see the panda? Because that was not on Disney Plus that I saw anyway.
No.
It says we have restrooms.
I saw we have restaurants, yeah, but were they talking about like a Panda Express knockoff or something? Or?
Trader Joe's parodied as Trader Earth's. Was that there?
You have that later. Yeah. That's not in Fast Food Boulevard. That's later. I think that's where the Democrats are having their meeting.
Yes. Okay. What about KFC? Was KFC on there? Because it says here it was parodied as Kentucky Fried Panda. I did not see this at all.
I missed that. So maybe the Colonel jumped in and said, you want to be changing that.
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Panda. I did not see it anywhere on Disney Plus.
My word.
Prospect. Doing your Frasier voice from Toy Story 2.
Correct.
Gosh, well, that's like a Bane.
Oh, I know.
Bane Spectre.
Be very painful for you to refer to me as Kentucky Fried Panda.
So basically, the montage of him just eating various foods. He drives up to the Sideshow Mel bin, trash.
Yeah, that tracks. Sideshow Mel is trash.
Yes, and he throws all the stuff in. He clears out his car, including a car battery, because why not? And acid drips down onto the gas main. He's having his victory cigar, which is a Joke-ass Homer cigar.
Mm-hmm.
It says, basically, if you haven't watched the episode, it says Joke-ass Homer on the box. That's his, like Bart's little bastard tampering kit. It's Homer's Joke-ass Homer cigars.
It honestly felt like that.
It felt like a massive screw you to the audience. It really did. I'm not sure. You kind of thought that it was going to be taken well. You can't make this gag and think, oh, they're going to think it's funny because we're acknowledging their issues that they have with the show.
It's hard to be a good sport about that.
Don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Just be better. Just fix it. So he throws the match that he lit cigar with into the bin, of course, and it blows up all the shops on Fast Food Boulevard. We get Hans Mom and Death here gets squashed because everyone else is getting pizza bases thrown in their face. He gets the sign, and Lard Lad's head explodes. It's now a town meeting. All the various mascots from Fast Food Boulevard are there, including the Rib Witch.
Indeed. What do they refer to him as? Cheesy McMayor or something?
Well, it's Mayor McCheese from the...
Well, it's Mayor McCheese, of course, but they refer to him as Cheesy McMayor or something
like that, yeah.
Come up with a funny name.
It sounds like Facey McFaceface, doesn't it? It's like the most basic thing. But Homer demands to, we must rebuild Fast Food Boulevard. Hibbert suggests they'll need a bond issue. So Lisa says, but that would be our problem then. And Bart says, no, we'll just pass it on to the next generation. Maggie sees next to her there's nobody. It's going to be her generation's issue. Then they bring the Springfield presidential primary forward to this Tuesday, I think it says, or something.
Yeah, I think it was initially going to be months in the future, and now it's next week.
Which means they're now first in the nation. It would have been nice for them to explain just what that means.
Yeah.
Because kids are at home going, what are you talking about? Adults at home are going, what are you talking about?
Adults at home are going,
I should know this, I know, but I don't, so can you explain it to me, please?
I feel dumb at the best of times, and now this is the worst of times.
Yes, and it's going to be early in New Hampshire, because apparently, I guess they're always first. New Hampshire.
Guess so.
Yeah. And they throw in the Mammoth cheese saying they're going to be cheesed. Dad joke, I guess?
Please come up with jokes.
We get a new story.
We would appreciate it.
We get a news story here from New Hampshire. Because they're usually the first ones, and they hear that Springfield's actually going to be first now, so they all leave for that, and we get the reference you're talking about earlier with the old couple who were in a diner.
Right, that's a cameo by actual US newsman Dan Rather.
Yeah, I think in this episode, you could tell when it was actual people, when it was just the Simpsons cast parodying something.
True,
yeah.
But Rather apparently is a name you can trust.
Yes,
or you used to be able to anyway. Apparently there was some sort of scandal involving not fake news, but I don't know, something along those lines. Anyway. Moving along. We
get the ad for Vote Now, or I Voted, or whatever, and Kent Brockman's doing a report, and he asks Mo here, do you have a preference? Which was quite funny.
Yeah.
Girl, stupid.
I'm a girl. What do you call him, Fruit Loop?
But are you a registered voter? Registered something. Lisa, she's very excited that Springfield is now the centre of the political universe.
Well, here you've got an opportunity for Lisa to use her pedantic powers for good. You know, she's the one who pops in and explains everything, and hopefully does it in a way that's...
Like a pop-up video.
Yeah, she explains it to the dumbest people in the various rooms that she's in.
You could have thought of a creative way to work that in.
Absolutely. And when Ralph comes into the picture, Ralph is clearly, not that bright. Lisa has to explain every step of the way, and therefore explain it to us. And we'll be going, oh, well, hey, to quote another show on the Four Finger Discount Network, I learned something today.
Yeah.
Listen to Going Down to South Park.
Yes, or watch it.
Or even watch it.
By the way, guys, so the way this is going now is we're filming all the shows. So clips are going to be going up on social media and the YouTube channel. You can watch clips up there. But if you want to watch the full show now of Guy and myself doing Four Finger Discount and Going Down to South Park, and the other shows we do here at Four Finger Discount, you're going to be a supporter of ours on Patreon to watch the full episode. But you're going to get getting plenty of clips. So if you just want to watch some clips, that's fine. If you watch the full show, if you support us on Patreon, you get access to the full unedited episode.
We're aware that it's the year 2024 and attention spans are short.
Yeah.
Watch a clip.
Yeah, watch a clip. Share it with your friends. I think the way of explaining the primary scenario, right, when they mention the fact that they needed the bond issue, Hibbert says that someone could have gone, well, how do we do that? Yeah. And Lisa explains, well, we could bring it forward, I guess, but that would be, and then Maycomi goes, done, this Tuesday. She's like, I don't think no, it's done.
We haven't thought about it.
Yeah, they all work out. Monorail.
Yeah.
That's easy. We just fixed it in fucking 10 seconds.
We know that the people of Springfield are always going to take the path less not the path less the path of least resistance.
Especially when Lisa goes, but we couldn't do that because
No one's
Done.
thinking about consequences or
No.
anything like that. So,
How do we make that happen? Well, this way, but I wouldn't. It's done.
no, there's a way of doing it, I guess. But oh, perfect,
Yes.
fantastic,
Monorail.
another triumph. Yeah.
See how easy it is to fix this shit?
Oh my god, I can't speak for Dando, but I'm a fucking dumbass. You know,
We were all dumbasses.
and yet we were able to make this episode, I don't know, a little more palatable.
Yes.
It went down smooth like a box of 10 tenders.
She mentions here the think tank, and Homer says, "Oh, think tank," and we get the flashback, or not the flashback. The thought bubble is, now let's consider World Bank lending policies to Micronesia.
Now, this was a really good bait and switch because I was honestly expecting like Homer to come bursting through the wall in a tank. You know,
like an army tank.
Yeah, like with with an army helmet on and
It said
like
think
a big
on it or something, yeah.
or and a big cigar, like
A
he's
joke
like
ass Homer cigar.
Yeah, like he's General Patton or something. Rah, take that, nerdlingers. You know,
Which probably would have been funny.
it would have been funny, but at the same time, this was both funny and smart, and I really appreciated that. I'm allowed to get one right every once in a while.
Yeah. We're now at Moe's, and they're all annoyed that the newsies are lapping. Oh no, is that this point yet? No, not annoyed yet, are they? They're annoyed once they all arrive. Yeah. So the newsies are lapping up the sauce. That's why he's a big fan, because they're all drinking there, all the news reporters and whatnot. And one of them asked, "Do you have internet access?" And I wasn't really paying attention. Did he just get a plug from his phone and plug it into the laptop?
It seemed that way, yeah. But
yeah.
And I'm guessing
this
that
is before Wi-Fi, people.
But I'm guessing it didn't even work because I'm thinking they would have put that.
That's what I thought was coming.
Yeah, but they didn't. I think Mo just pulled a Swifty on the guy. Like, well, now you're connected to the World Wide Web.
Yeah. So he plugs the phone in. John Stewart here now. So he says, "I'm John Stewart. Do I need to say my name? People know me." Then Krusty walks in, right, and says, "Hey, it's John Stewart." I was like, we know that. Why would Krusty walk up and say, "Hey"? Well, I wouldn't walk up and go, "Hey, it's Guy Davis." You could have just had him go, because he says here, everyone's favourite political funny man, right? Mm-hmm. He could have said, "I'm John Stewart. Do I have to say my name?" And Krusty walks in and goes, "Well, that isn't everyone's favourite political funny man." You didn't have to go, "Hey, it's John Stewart, everyone's favourite political funny man."
Yeah, or
why? We're in the era of, hey, it's that celebrity, in case you weren't aware. Well, we're aware because he just said his name.
We're well aware of it, John Stewart. Yeah, or take the piss and say, "Hey, it's Stephen Colbert," or something like that.
Make a mistake, yeah. But no, that joke would work because you go, "Well, if it isn't everyone's favourite political funny man," he goes, "That's right, me, John Stewart." Stewart, I thought you were Stephen Colbert. And that's the gag. That's it. Done. Finished.
That's the gag. But instead we get...
tell me more. Are you trying to steal my lines? No. Krusty, that's very bad of you. And just like walks off, and I'm thinking, what? You had John Stewart, and that's all you did with him?
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure we can assume that Will Smith, somewhere in his... You're wondering where I'm going with this, aren't you? Sitting somewhere in his compound, was watching this episode, and a little seed was planted, and years later, at the Oscars... Rather than saying, "A la John Stewart, keep your zingers out of my mouth, keep my zingers out of your mouth," he instead said something else to Chris Rock.
He did, which was,
"Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth."
It was fucking mouth.
Yeah.
I think you always rub your hands together. when we look back on that moment, is that going to be it felt like it was a defining moment of Will Smith's career. I feel like the world's moved on. I feel like they're like, Bad Boys 4 was success. Play on.
Yeah, the world moves on so quickly. I mean...
I put up a couple of memes this week. The Hawk Tour girl, right? Spit on that thing, chick. She was huge for like a couple of weeks, right? She's been doing these appearances, and she appeared at a country music festival a couple of days ago to utter silence.
Yeah, to tumbleweeds.
And everyone was like, "Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, it's over."
Yeah, and you can see the moment in her eyes where she's going, "Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, well...
They lied to me."
I think she struck me as quite aware that she knew that she was going to be a flash
She
in the
seems
pan.
quite charming.
She seemed really nice.
Yeah.
And also, look, not to get too adult content on what is generally a family-friendly show, but sounds like a great date. The whole Huck 12 thing is like, damn, that's hot.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, she just seemed like a cool chick.
Well, I saw a video of her where she was taking advantage of her, 15 seconds
Money
of
for
fame.
dogs or whatever it was.
Yeah, she was. She went to Pet Barn.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It was like, we've got all this food for stray dogs.
That's what you should be, not making appearances at fucking music festivals. Do this shit
well,
on social media.
I like to think she can combine the two,
Well, no one cares anymore about the appearances.
Yeah, but appearing at the comedy festival or the country music festival or whatever, remember, still in the public eye, keep the thing going a little longer, feed a few more stray dogs. I'm Team Hoctoir.
So now we get to Krusty. Yeah, so Krusty's basically just stealing jokes.
But that whole bit with Jon Stewart was just unnecessary and unfunny.
I'm like, where are you going with this? Where are you going? Oh, you're going nowhere.
Yeah. You're showing that Krusty's a hack, which is something that we didn't know.
Yeah, I know.
That he's a
who
joke
would've thought?
stealer. Who'd have thunk it?
So now it's time for the panel, introducing the panel for the debate. And we get Andrea Crowley from CNN, Dumont Evans from Slate.com, and your pal Ron Lahar from
The Washington
a print
Post?
journalist.
Yes, indeed.
And Nelson with the whole, your medium's dying. And then Skinner says, Nelson, what it is being right and being nice. I'm thinking,
Joke on a joke on a joke?
but
Or
none
not
of-
even a joke?
Skinner wouldn't then have this interaction with him.
No.
With the whole, there's being right and there's being nice. No, Nelson, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one of those gags that was just written. They wanted to take the piss out of print media, I guess.
Yeah, so just have Nelson say, your medium is dying, and then have like a single tear come from the Washington
That's
Post guy.
all it needed.
All you want. Because I think we were aware.
We're aware.
In 2008,
Yes.
certainly, that, the times they were a-changing.
Now we're at the Residence Inn for the focus group for the Republican candidate, which is, should we make former Governor Vincent Aleppo the new candidate? And they mention here that he has a relationship with Mustafi.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You've got some actual politicians in there. I mean, from what I understand, I don't know if they got billed, and maybe...
Some are politicians, some are just parodies of politicians.
Well, yeah, Fred Thompson, a real politician. Dennis Kucinich.
He's real. Yep.
He's real. I don't know whether he actually... I don't think he would have supplied his voice. Given
No, he didn't, no.
They were making jokes about his
And I
diminutive
looked it up.
stature.
He is 1.7 meters, so he's 107. Like, that's not that short.
No.
170 centimeters. I mean, it's short, but it's not.
It's not
They-
Michael
they-
J.
they
Fox
had him,
short.
like,
yeah,
you know-
he's not a hobbit.
No, it was bizarre. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I just didn't. I
What
didn't get it.
are you doing?
Yeah. Us in the writers' room, they picture these jokes. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like when I made George Lucas really short. You're like, what's the joke here?
Yeah.
Why is he is being short funny to you? Is that the joke?
Mm.
Oh, that he's short. That's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Someone on Twitter the other day made a very good point. They're saying, what the perfect job for me would be to be at a celebrity's side, and when they're about to put something out or they float an idea, I'm the person who goes, people are going to take that the wrong way. It's like, and this is about the time that Katy Perry's new song and video came out.
I've listened to the song. Apparently, it hasn't done well.
I saw bits of the video and thought,
I had noticed in the last month, I was like, Katy Perry seems to be just popping up here and there. She hadn't been here and there for a while.
yeah,
What's going on here? Oh, new
She-
single.
on the verge of a comeback,
And
soft launching a comeback, which then
Yeah, and apparently she responded to it. And it's
Say-
never respond to the bad feedback. Don't do it.
no, or never say you don't
Hey,
get it.
yeah, so that's what
This-
you're doing. Hey,
this
we're
is
going for
satire,
this, guys.
Yeah, we know what satire is, and this ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't it, chief. To use some very outdated slang that's probably about as relevant as Katy Perry. Sorry, Katy. I mean, you got a couple of certified bangers, and also some good songs.
I knew you were going there.
Yeah!
And Guy will be replaced on next week's podcast.
Can we do like a visual of cancelled?
Oh, it's there. And Guy's gone. All right, guys. So the rest of the show is just going to be me here, sitting here. No, but so basically, they had the focus group, and I think they're just trying to say here that Republican voters are idiots because they didn't know what they wanted.
I think
Basically, or
they're
just
saying, like,
voters in general.
Voters
We
in
don't know
general,
what we want. Yeah.
are easily distracted by
Milkshakes.
by milkshakes, by unclear,
Special effects.
or
Yeah.
insincere messaging, anything.
Then it's time for the debate. Lisa's not impressed with what it's not the debate, sorry. It's the Democratic Party trying to find a candidate, and Lisa's not impressed with any of them. Then they're all putting their various signs up around Springfield, and Clinton puts up the Hillary sign, and they're never going to let that go, are you? It's just interesting that, 10 years later-ish, that they were trying to make her the president?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they thought she was going to be the president, and
That didn't play
that
out.
doco on Netflix is well worth a watch. I think I may have told you. If you watched one where it's all about how basically the documentary was about how Hillary was about to become president. And then as they're filming it, they realize, oh shit, this documentary is actually about how Trump's going to be president.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Like on the night, it was like they didn't realize. They still thought that she was going to win.
Yeah.
And you can see the people.
Everybody did.
You can see people watching the poll going, oh, fuck, it's happening.
Yeah.
There's no going back now.
I don't think even Trump thought he was going to win.
I think he probably, maybe he didn't think a little part of him.
To his
there's a chance.
To his credit, and I never thought I'd say to his credit about Donald Trump, but once it was apparent that he was actually going to be in the White House, because honestly, I may be completely wrong here, but I viewed his initial campaign back for the 2016 election as a PR stunt, as a marketing exercise, just to keep building his brand.
The Apprentice, new season, coming next June.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But, once he realised, ooh, I can take advantage of this, and now he's got a real taste for it, and he just wants it more and more.
Yeah. So the Simpsons are now, they've got undecided sign at their house. So they all just clamour to their house. Everyone arrives. They all pan to try and win the votes. They kick them out, including Fred Thompson, your man from Die Hard 2, and...
he was in Hunt for Red October and many things. He was on Law and Order for a while.
Was he really?
I believe so.
All right. The guys are now all ranting at Moe's.
Also, I won't have them ragging on Die Hard 2, which is not Die Hard, but a few movies are. But Die Hard 2 is not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of like, for me, I see Die Hard 2 as kind of like a Jaws 2, where it's not the first one. Nothing will ever be the first one. But it's not terrible.
Correct.
Like, Jaws 2 is an acceptable Jaws movie, in my opinion.
Dando, my friend.
Yes.
May I take this opportunity to promote a project on the side, something that you're not involved in, but that I have done?
Yeah.
All right. You've heard the name Charlie Clausen mentioned on this podcast every once in a while.
He's been on the podcast.
He's been on the podcast. We talked about The Last Temptation of Homer. He and I recently did a 4-part podcast series called Silver's Streak, where we talked about a run of films by producer Joel Silver. Die Hard 2 is one of them. I don't know. Speaking of myself, I think it's pretty good listening. You might want to go check it out. Do some Googling. You'll be able to find it.
I'll put the link in the description of this.
That's very generous of you. I appreciate it.
I wish Charlie would do the same for us.
Doesn't he do that?
I don't know, but does he?
I
just assumed his producer didn't.
You don't listen to the podcast that I do.
Well, they never tag us on social media or anything, so I just assumed that we weren't getting mentioned.
Oh, well, no. Well, at the end of every episode, I'm like, check out 4 Finger Discount, where we talk about The Simpsons,
cool.
Seinfeld, South Park, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Mention your name a lot.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Charlie, great man.
Good
now,
guy.
what is the one you're recording today? Are you allowed to reveal it?
Yeah, we are.
Why not? Just do it.
Because I don't know. I haven't done my research yet. No, we're talking to a gentleman who is responsible. He's got a company that puts together film trailers. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be talking about the evolution of film trailers over the years, good examples thereof, bad examples thereof. Are they using too many slow down versions or children choir versions of classic rock tunes? A la, I'm a creep.
Something in the way.
That was actually pretty good. And that was the original Nirvana version in the Batman trailer. Yeah. But we're going to be talking about that.
Yes. I just feel like every trailer tries to be Inception now.
Yeah, you're probably right. But Inception did a really good trailer.
They did a good trailer. But then the problem is that it's like...
Not every movie's Inception.
No. Yeah, they fit the movie. Yeah. Like... Garfield, the movie, shouldn't be slowed down with a slow kids song and going ding.
It should, and it shouldn't have like this slow doomcore version of Year of the Cat.
I feel like every trailer now, if they could, would just have what's that Kanye song that has the always done something wrong or whatever. That has that piano song. That piano.
I don't know, but sing more of it because I found that really entertaining.
I don't know what the words are. It's like you've been putting up with my shit for way too long. You know that song?
I don't know that song.
It's the one that starts with a ding, ding, ding. It's just the piano.
I don't know it.
I'm going to play it to you after the show.
That'd be great.
You definitely know the song.
I know it, but I don't know it.
But you know it'd be perfect for all these modern trailers. Speaking of trailers, I saw another trailer for what's the one with your man?
The Trap.
The Trap. Yeah, I'm pumped for that movie.
You're in.
Yeah,
looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I wish they didn't spoil that one thing, but I'm still pumped for it.
Yeah, I'm guessing then that's not the twist.
Yeah,
I'm guessing there may not even be a twist.
Yeah.
It might just be suspense all the way through. But yes, looking forward to it. Glad I never sold my Josh Hartnett stock. He's my man. Like that guy.
You've gone on about him forever. You've never given up.
I got a big crush.
Yeah. So the guys are all ranting out Moe's.
We're talking about the Simpsons.
They're sick of all the news reporters being there. And who wants to abolish democracy? So Homer suggests that they have a ridiculous candidate, and they suggest that the guy Dennis Kucinich, who I've got here 1.7 meters. Don't know why they made him so short. Mm-hmm. Wiggum then suggests himself. No, but you're close. And it's a news report saying that Ralph Wiggum is now the candidate, with 53% of likely voters agreeing that he should be the candidate. And look what I did, made the TV thing happen.
Let's scale this right down. I think there's like a halfway decent idea in here. I think the people of Springfield realise that they're being bombarded and overwhelmed, and also maybe being regarded as saps by the mainstream media, and decide to play them at their own game. It's like, they're constantly being, their privacy is being invaded. They're being painted as rubes or something like that.
Why does it matter? Like, why does Lisa care so much? Because it's not like she's going to be president or anything. So why does it matter what the...
I think she just takes umbrage at she's got a very idealized version of American politics and of democracy in general.
Because
she's upset
because Springfield as a city can't nominate the state's candidate. They're just one town.
They sort of painted themselves into a corner by being Springfield.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
That's true.
Geelong can't decide who the Victorian representative is. It's
No,
Victoria.
although it should be Richard Marles because
He's a Geelong supporter.
well, yeah. Also, like he's the Josh Hartnett of politics, as far as I'm concerned. That guy's dreaming. But I thought there was a halfway decent idea of the people of Springfield like throw it down, flip it, and reverse it. Play the media and the politicians at their own games. Like
They didn't explain that very well.
Yeah. Well, they didn't. But I thought that's not a bad way to go about it. Say you're going to treat us like clowns, or you're going to treat politics like a circus or a game. We're going to do exactly the same. We'll
beat them at their own game.
Yeah. We're going to make an 8-year-old dumbass.
They think we're not onto them. They think we're stupid. We'll beat them at their own game.
Yeah. Only for it to become oh God, it actually is a circus, and they will vote for this kid.
And it would have been better. When they, you know how they love their lists. This could be one of those moments where we go, we need someone who's the most ridiculous candidate ever, and then Mo, more ridiculous. Sea captain, even more ridiculous. Cletus, keep going. Chief Wiggum, nearly there.
Yeah, close.
And that could have been like whatever. Now it's time for the headbutt with Nash Carter from Washington, from the state's. Was it from Washington?
I believe so.
Yeah. And so basically he introduces, but first of all he says, 2 days ago this bedwetter made a splash at Springfield Primary. I thought it was quite funny.
Not bad.
Then Andriatica Val Johnson is a take on
Ariana Huffington,
yes.
I believe, who's a bit of a political pundit and media baron.
And she seems to like Ralph. And then we get a parody of another guy who wears the glasses, Edward R. Murrow.
Well, they mentioned Murrow at some stage. Well, is that meant to be Edward Murrow? Because Edward Murrow is long dead by this stage. I think Dan Rather when he's in the
no, sorry, no, I'm looking at the wrong part.
Looking
at the wrong part. Yeah, maybe that was on. Oh no, here we go. George Will.
Okay, yeah, that name's familiar. I don't know if he's still with us, but yeah, there's a whole mass of political commentators out there.
But he says we need to find out whether he's a Democrat or a Republican, whether he's wearing a tux or a tuxedo, a tux or a tutu. Sorry, yeah. Lisa thinks this is an absolute disaster. And then Marge is not really concerned at all. She looks in the newspaper and says, "Oh my God, Springfield Dodge has too much inventory." It's like Marge is an idiot, I guess.
No, I get the feeling Marge is trying to check out of the whole political thing. It's like
it's not that Marge doesn't understand. She just doesn't want.
She's just overwhelmed by it and just wants some, like me. You know, I've been. Oh God, there's too much political content. I just want to watch 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah,
the UK version.
Preference. If it's not too much trouble.
Because there's a saying, I've forgotten the exact title or position that you've heard of. Steve Bannon, you know that guy. Yeah, he talked about that notion of flooding the zone with shit, which is a political strategy that's, I think,
also known as a toilet.
Yeah, well, I think it's been around a lot, but Putin certainly used it, and now they're using it in American politics, where you just flood the media with so much information, a lot of it conflicting, and some of it coming from like one source. It's like one source will throw out contradictory information just to get people confused. And then when you've got someone coming through like Trump will say, "I'll do this." It's like, oh, wow, he's telling it like it is, and he's speaking to me because I'm confused. But this guy's providing a solution. He's not trying to baffle me with facts and figures and highfalutin stuff. He's just going to nail it down. I'll take that guy.
He always does this.
Well, yeah.
But you're right there, exactly.
That's my political... When I run for office, it'll be like, I'm Guy Davis. Wow. Seems like a political strongman. Vote one guy.
But Marge says, you're just going to have faith in the wisdom of the average voter. They all walk in saying, I did the wig, I did the wig. Lisa says, he can't be president because A, he's too stupid. I thought, well, not very nice, but it's true. And being president, you have to be at least 35. But Homer does say here, being president's easy. You just got to point the army and shoot. But he says
not a bad
she
one.
says you have to be 35, and they discuss here the Patriot Act, and I think if this felt like I didn't understand it. I'm not going to lie, but it felt like their way of just trying to write themselves out of a hole.
Yeah, and also sort of not be on the right side of history, but I think for a while around this period, it was like, oh, if we mention the Patriot Act, it kind of shows, oh, we're against it. Oh, they've introduced the Patriot Act. Oh, shame on them. That's what it felt like. It felt like a collection of buzzwords.
And then this next bit of the Republican meeting, we got Count Chocula, Birch Barlow, all talking about George Bush. He was, yeah. And then, at least he won the second time. Granted, we don't find those ballot boxes in Ohio. Looking around the room, everyone looking. It's like,
this is all very inside baseball.
It's way too inside baseball for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
This is so dated, all this stuff. But now we're at Trader Earth's organic market. This here was a shit show.
Absolutely.
So the sign says, sell or buy close tonight for the Democratic Party meeting.
Well, you've got Hank sort of recycling his voice from the birdcage. But also, Julio is...
He's like the Springfield's gay character now. And he's already got his arseless sparkle tux clean for the inauguration.
Yeah, and he's also a play on the Ariana Huffington Manx characters.
Mike Huffington.
Yeah, because he
came out as gay.
Their marriage ended and he came out as gay. So it's like, I don't know, satire?
But as I read a review of this, and the person pointed out, this is your gay representation now, the viewers, on The Simpsons. This guy. This is who is representing you.
It's like...
What a downfall from homophobia.
Yeah, we had a nice run with John Waters there for a second. But, no. This
is what this is what the Simpsons writers room really think of you. I know it's all stereotypes, but I don't know. It felt like they were sort of getting back some sort of I don't know, quality with the. Remember when she was Patty and Selma when Patty got married? Mm-hmm. She's like, hell no, I like girls, and it's like, okay, she's proud of being gay. This guy here is just your stereo. Let's just move on.
And look, stereotypes certainly exist. There are probably many, many Julios out there. But sometimes I think you've got to provide a bit of a counterbalance.
Yeah. So they say with Ralph on the ticket, not sure how we'll blow it, but we will because that's what the Democratic Party is all about. So this whole episode is just about shitting on everybody, I guess.
It really is. And look, we've had a previous episode where the elephant sort of charges through both things. Like, we're evil. The Republicans are evil. It's like, we can't govern. That's the Democrat. One. That's all you needed.
Yep.
That was like, a 5-second gag.
Yep.
And it nailed American politics in a way that this episode simply does not.
Brockman then does the news report from Wiggum Compound, and he's the most charismatic child since Drew Barrymore and Firestarter. When she got married, they got burned. So they say, which party are you going to go for? And he says...
I thought that was not a bad line, though, where Chief Wiggum's saying, there's two parties you can go to. One's got an elephant, one's got a donkey. These are the symbols of both parties.
He chooses Elmo.
And he chooses Elmo.
Yes. And they think that he means Republican. Then Wiggum and Lou have a big debate.
all that part about name checking. Oh, you mean Elmo such and such? Like, oh yeah, someone's got access to Wikipedia. Yeah. Fuck you guys. Yeah. Fuck you.
No one knows who you're talking about. So Wiggum and Lou go for a debate to go, we're going to sort this out down at the library or whatever. Then Barlow and Johnson sneak into Wiggum's house, and Ralph then randomly, out of nowhere, decides, oh, wait a minute. I'm not an idiot anymore. I'm actually smart. I'm going to use them to make America great again. And the only boom booms will be in our pants. And Lisa's like, I like the idea of that. He's like, and you'll be my first ladle. Yeah, let's do it, Ralph. And then we get the commercial for Ralph and his campaign. And Lenny's saying, oh yeah, I like Ralph. And Clinton says, I'm going to vote for Ralph as well. Don't tell you know who. Mm-hmm. And there's a footage of him sitting on the Lincoln statue, or sitting on Lincoln's lap. I want this, I want that, and a brighter future for America. And it's pick a winner as he's picking his nose. And I'm like, hang on.
I think the way to wrap this up would have been, have that episode where it's like, they were rescued by, let's say, Mo. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if Roscoe Lee Brown is still alive, the lovely stentorian tones of that actor, but get him back to say, or someone like that to say, Ralph Wiggum's campaign turned out to be, a watershed moment in American politics. His, fresh take on, uniting America actually brought the country together. Then someone realized he was 8 years old, and we had to...
Lisa, told you.
Yeah. And then Lisa go, what did I tell you?
Yeah.
The end.
You know what shits me? Is the fact that she is the one that pointed out he can't actually go for the candidacy, right? Mm. But then at the end, she's like, I'll be your first lady. It's like, what? What?
Yeah. I guess you're speaking symbolically, Lisa. Maybe. Who can tell? But who knows?
I just assumed when it ended, I thought, okay, well, we're going to get something wrap up during the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
All right. In that case, what'd you learn from this episode, Dando?
What did I learn from this episode? That you'd probably look pretty good in some arseless sparkle tux.
You're just learning this now.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I learned...
I learned your safe word, but I've already forgotten it. What was your safe word?
Palomino.
I feel... You know what it is, viewers and listeners? I feel like that actually is a safe word of yours because you came up with that pretty fucking quickly.
Hot out the gates. What did I learn this episode? That I don't really, my knowledge of American politics and the American political process is sketchy at best.
You can't learn it from Twitter, then I don't know.
But it's still better than that of the Simpsons writers' room.
Yeah, well, in 2008 anyway, or 2007.
Correct,
This was just not a good episode at all.
A shambles.
A shambles, yeah. I don't know what they were going for.
E pluribus shambles.
All right, guys. Well, at this point here, this is where the end of the video. The new names, whatnot, will be off the video. So thank you guys for watching this. If you're watching this part, that means you're a supporter of ours on Patreon. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you guys in the next review here at Four Finger Discount.
Catch you then.